Hello, welcome back for another video. Wait, what am I doing? I don't have a damn intro. Anyway, the purpose and reason for this video stem from some afterthoughts I had after I watched the first episode of the second season. If you are anime only watching this video, I recommend watching this, but you will get spoiled, but I don't care, still watch it. However, this video is mostly for my audience that have read the light novel or web novel, because most of my subs are ReZero fans that have read the novel. I want to hear all your thoughts on what I'm about to say and my predictions on how the season is going to go. Obviously, since I read this part of the novel, I'm not going to talk about what I think will happen each and every episode, but this is more about how I feel about the pacing and how the anime will portray some of the scenes that are to come from Arc 5 and just an overall review or predictions on my thoughts on the production of season 2. To speak on the episode itself, I thought the episode was overall good. I was satisfied with what was shown within the episode. However, I noticed that they cut some content. I said this in my review on the first episode that they cut some content that was in the web novel. And also, I do understand that perspective of the show will be quite different because I read the web novel and I know they used the light novel as the canon material, and I have not read the light novel, so I don't know what was changed. All I can do is assume that the light novel versus the web novel is, in terms of variation, is that they aren't that far different. The changes that I'm assuming should only be very subtle. I don't expect the changes to vary a great amount. I don't expect the light novel to be a one-to-one adaptation of the web novel. However, if there are huge or large variations between the two novels, then all I can say is that is kind of weird and peculiar, but it is what it is. But I'm saying all this because of all the scenes of the anime, and in particular one scene of the anime was changed quite a lot from the web novel. First, I want to talk about the beginning portions of the episode and the pacing. The episode beginning with Petra, Subaru, and Emilia in the carriage again. In hindsight, I think it's a bad choice now because of them starting off this way. It completely makes the director's cut obsolete and not worth watching, when the director's cut was already very iffy on whether or not you should or should not watch it. The only purpose that it really served was to watch ReZero in 45 or hour increments. Other than that, the new content that was being unveiled within the director's cut was nothing more than one less frame or one brand new frame here, there. It really served no purpose whatsoever. I thought with having the director's cut, it was going to be adding full scenes into the anime that was not present in the original showing. For example, the carriage ride with Subaru, Al, and Priscilla. During the carriage ride, they were supposed to have Al introduce the plot point of him being from Japan, which is something they left out of the original. I do understand why they would leave it out in the original showing of ReZero, but it doesn't make sense to not add this scene into the director's cut. The reason they wouldn't introduce this is most likely because they were not sure if they were getting a second season of the anime, hence why they ended the first season the way they did. But this is the director's cut with the second season already announced. It makes no sense to not include this because this is such a major plot point to the overall grand scale of the series. Even though it won't become relevant or is referenced until season 3, but they still should have introduced it here so that when season 3 finally rolls around, it is not a reveal that comes out of nowhere or is not retconned into the series to make sense. So I really didn't like the way the director's cut was handled. And what I'm getting from all of this is that the production team could have saved 4 minutes of the show by taking out this carriage scene of Petra, Subaru, and Emilia and replace it with more season 2 content within the first episode. This brings me to my next thing I want to talk about, the handling of the Synarch Bishop's greed and gluttony. Before I get into why I think they were handled poorly, first I want to say is I like the scene of the introduction. I thought everything that they had done was done beautifully. However, it could have been done better. When it comes to gluttony, I don't have much to say because his character is pretty simple, enough to squeeze in within a lot of amount of time. So I was fine there. But what really bothers me is Regulus. They cut out so much of Regulus's dialogue to the point where I feel you don't even understand or get any sort of information about his personality. It seems that they prefer to focus more on the actions and the use of his powers than the personality of his character, which is something I don't like. I've seen the anime only talk about Regulus and they have said he's just cool. That's it. They don't particularly see a personality that they can grasp onto and understand. If the anime would have put in this content, which I believe they could have if they have used the 4 extra minutes from the beginning, they could have introduced and characterized Regulus' personality a lot more. People would be able to understand how illogical Regulus is, and no one even knows how satisfied the man is. So I really don't like the way this content was cut out. That really bugs me, especially being a really big Regulus fan. The next piece of content is Subaru's death. I spoke most on this in my review, so there isn't much I want to say, but the location of Subaru's death has to be fixed, or should have been in the original place by the bedside because of a scene that would happen later on in the season. But them not having Subaru killed by the bedside, they will have to retcon it during the second trial, so I don't really know why they changed this scene. I'm curious on how they're going to make this up, but however, when you think about it in the grand scale of things, it's not really that bad, because they can basically make the same exact scene for the second trial. The only problem with that is Wilhelm. Wilhelm was there during the second trial and within that variation of world. Did I just say variation? I mean parallel world. I don't know why I said it like that. But he was in that parallel world. However, Wilhelm wasn't introduced in the episode until they got to the mansion and they had the conversation with Cruz and how she lost her memories. So the way they're going to have to retcon this is very interesting. I'm curious on how they're going to do this. As for the second to last issue, which is pretty small but I would say somewhat important issue, is the cut dialogue of Subaru and Puck. During their interaction, we were supposed to learn how much Subaru actually hates Puck, but we got none of that. Once again, I don't know why they took it out, but they did. I understand that they were crunched for time, which is why I say this episode should have been 1 hour long, but some things just has to be put in there to characterize certain characters. The last piece of information I want to speak on is the trailer of episode 2. The trailer was not good to me for 2 reasons. The first reason, because of this trailer, it just made me lose a bet in Discord, and I really didn't like that. And well, technically, I didn't lose the bet, but I didn't win either, so I'm mad. But the second reason is that we are already at Echidona by episode 2. I had theorized that we couldn't meet Echidona until episode 3. By us meeting her at episode 2, I feel that they are blitzing through the beginning portions of this arc. Because of this, I feel like the entire season is going to be them revving up the pacing to 10 and rushing a lot of important interaction and dialogue. If the witch shows up at episode 2, then that means we get Subaru's backstory in episode 3. To me, that is some ridiculous pacing. Or am I just remembering arc 4 incorrectly? I don't know. Am I thinking that it had more detail than it actually did? I'm not sure, but just from this initial feeling, I think we're going to blaze past a lot of the information to hurry up and get to the good stuff within the arc. Honestly, I don't know with this season. I hope they don't do any of that. I hope the pacing is fixed. I hope we have a great season. If you all agree with me or disagree with me, share your thoughts on the production of the season and how you think it will go. Also, almost forgot the censorship. Some of the scenes that are going to be coming up will be very, very gruesome, and some of them are going to be super rough with the amount of blood and gore. I don't know how they're going to get around or if they can show the full scenes that have to be predicted. But once again, it's one of the things where we just have to wait and see. But that's it for the video. I just want to make a video about my thoughts on the production of the season. As I said, I hope it gets better and I hope it does a great job. I do feel like they need to stop cutting content, but however, this is only the first episode, so who knows. But I still think that the content that they cut was very, very important. But as I said, you all give me your thoughts down in the comments on how you think this is going to go. That's it for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. ReZero is tomorrow. Hopefully this video goes up today. But thank you all for watching, and goodbye.